Let's do this. Welcome to Maker's Journey Workshop. I'm Benjamin Davies, and today we're making jigs. This is a jig that I made years ago. It has bird doo-doo welds on it. It's ugly as sin. I had no idea what I was doing, and I didn't even have a welder at the time. So if you're sitting here thinking, well, Ben, I don't have a welder, I bet you got a friend that's got a welder. Luckily enough, I had a good friend of mine who's a Vietnam vet who taught me leather work, who kind of actually helped me segue into this forging career of mine. He had a welder, a little flux core welder, and I would go to his house first thing in the morning, and before I had to go to my shift at work, and he would let me weld up these ugly jigs. But you know what? They still work, and they never broke. But, so my welds held even though they were ugly. It's ugly, it's crude, and it works like $1,000,000, or at least it did till the handle messed up. I want to make a different style jig that's even more simple. If you don't have a friend with a welder, I'm gonna show you how to make a jig too, really basic, without a welder, that will do the same thing that this will do, okay? All right, y'all follow along today. Got our pieces. Oh, that's our scrap rack. So whenever we work a job and we got leftover pieces, we always throw stuff on the scrap rack. They're pretty handy to have whenever you want to make up jigs or things. I can't tell you how many things that I've made for the shop out of that scrap rack. So that's money we've already spent. That's a nice hack for, you know, saving some money on some things too. All right, so we've got our pieces all cut out, ground out, right? Everything. This next part, it's really important that you either use a blue or red welder. It needs to be really expensive. If not, it won't work with this project, okay? Also, what you're gonna wanna have is an acorn platen table is probably gonna work the best. If you can't get one of those 3,000 to 5,000 pound tables, the next step down is probably one of those fixture tables that are fabricated. They're probably at least 1/2 inch thick steel. That's 100% necessary to do this next step. So we've got our tool made. Not pretty. One thing that I've learned is I've spent a lot of time and invested a lot of time in just trying to make everything perfect and shiny. It does not matter what the tool looks like, as long as it A, functions like it should have, and B, holds up. This, it works. At least I think it does. I'm 99.9%. But let's check it up in the vise. Let's do a couple projects. Smaller tool, meant for smaller stock. Don't taper a piece of 3/4 inch square and put it in there and try to bend it around. Expect this tool to hold up. You need to beef up your tools. Your tools need to be proportioned to the project. So that's cool. Worked really well on these 4 guys, right? It's probably a fluke. Probably won't last. Just cheap tool, ugly. We should test it. How do we test it? I have an idea. Do you think that'd be enough to test it? I think there's about 60 there. Let's give that a whirl. So, ready? Oh, we'll need some music. Hold on. If you know, you know. All right, so I got a minute or two for the first few to heat up. So I'm just gonna get hotter, faster, 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 faster. Ooh, here's a hack. Almost everything in my shop is not anchored down except for our power hammers, the big hydraulic press. And that way with my tools, I like to set up everything so it's streamlined to be most efficient. Come on, get hot! Needs oxygen, needs oxygen. All right, let's test out our work area. Dip. Bend. I'm gonna trade these 2 around. I think that'll work better. I'm putting this guy here. Yep, that guy there. This guy here, just for this reason. All right, so it's really tight. You shouldn't have any trip hazards in your shop, but I like to keep stuff really tight and moving in a fluid circle. So ooh, better, you can see it now. I like it. Yep, good layout. So we're up to temperature on these things now. Okay, and so we've got a nice fluid line of things. We're walking in circles all day. This is a great setup for a shop, or at least it's one that's worked well for me. We go fire, we go jig, anvil to straighten, table for finished. I love forging in steps like this. It really helps me to be more productive. Again, let's go. Quick quench. Come to here. I should probably have my glasses on. We'll be okay. It's really dangerous right now because that's when scale likes to pop off. Be mindful of that. There's one. Let's see if we knock out the rest pretty quick. Let's see if the tripod's in the way. Is the tripod in the way? Nope, tripod's good. Well, doesn't, isn't. But deep, the handle doesn't get. If you don't have a friend with a welder, I'm gonna show you how to make a jig too without a welder that will do the same thing that this will do, okay? Heat it up. Yep. Just really easy, it doesn't have to be pretty. If it makes the things pretty, your tool doesn't need to be beautiful. And so what that's going to do is that's going to make it smoother. It cleans the scale off and it makes it easier for whenever you're putting pieces on and off it. I'm going to take it out, I'm going to quench it, and that'll harden it up a little bit even though it's not at heat treating temperatures. So the main thing that I love most about jigs, if you haven't got the idea yet, is they give you time back. Anytime you can purchase time, you should do it. If that doesn't make sense to you, think about it, sit down, chew on it, it will. And so these little cup jigs, these little jigs, most simple one, they're really handy to have around the shop, but it may not be worth it for you to have these things in your shop. You know, sometimes certain forms, I just can't think of how they'd come in handy to replicate things. So it might just be a big, huge waste of your time to sit there and make a tool that you may only use once or twice or never again, especially if you had that tool in like 2 or 3 different sizes, right? So because with a tool like that, you'd be able to replicate things and they would turn out consistent and the same every time. So if you had to make 10 or 15 of something, probably not a good idea. It's probably better, and you know, your customers will appreciate it more if you take 15 of the same product to market and those things each look different. Yeah, that makes them distinguished. Especially like, you know, little hooks on the ends of stuff. You want those to all be different. People don't like uniform, you know, in their house. They like everything to look crude and rough, and like, you know, a blacksmith made it hunched over the edge of an anvil. That's how it's supposed to be done. Yeah, what am I gonna do with them? Oh, yeah, that'd be really unhandy for that too. All right, see y'all. Smash that subscribe button. Oh yeah, brother. So that's awesome. It worked on, you know, these. Let's see if I can do it better. I think I can do it better. You should always try to do it better. Cool. That's really hot. Ouch. Ouchies. Whoop whoop. Goofball. Cool. All the forging on that, and we're just forming now. Forming, not forging. Forming, not forging. Proportion to the project. Proportion to the project. I like the way that sounds. Rolls off the tongue real well. P2P. Proportion to the project. Smash that subscribe button.